Stop for a moment, really stop. What if I told you the last story you just lived never actually happened the way you think it did? Your brain decided how it happened. It stretched some moments, erased others, and made time feel like it was moving normally, but it wasn't. That argument you remember? Maybe it lasted 5 minutes, maybe 20. That walk you took, maybe it disappeared almost entirely. Every second of a life, your brain is rewriting it, shaping it, deciding what counts and what doesn't, and you don't even notice. What you think is real is only what your brain lets you see. Time, as you feel it, is a story your mind is telling you, not the universe. And right now, it's telling you a lie. We all live on the same planet, honor the same clocks, yet no two people experience time the same way. 1 hour stuck in traffic can feel like an eternity, while 1 hour with someone you love can vanish without a trace. If time is truly fixed, constant, and objective, why does it feel so unstable, elastic, almost unreal? For centuries, philosophers, scientists, and poets have puzzled over this. And for a long time, most of us thought it was just a feeling, a trick of perception. But modern neuroscience tells a much stranger story. Your brain doesn't just measure time, it constructs it, and sometimes it deliberately stretches it, compresses it, even shatters it completely. Think of a moment when you almost got hit by a car, or when you were in a sudden accident. Almost everyone who survived something like that reports the same thing. They say time slowed down. The world seemed to move in slow motion. But here's the incredible part. It wasn't slow motion at all. Experiments show that during danger, the brain starts recording vastly more detail per second. It's as if the mind is increasing its frame rate, capturing every flicker, every shadow, every microsecond. And later, when you recall that moment, it feels longer than it actually was. Time didn't stretch, memory became denser. The seconds weren't longer, you just packed more into them. Your brain was giving you more space to react, more room to survive. This isn't just a quirk, it's evolution. Back when humans faced predators, every millisecond counted. When a saber-toothed tiger appeared, your ancestors didn't have time to rationalize. Their brains automatically record the world in ultra-high definition, slowed down the moment in perception, and let their bodies respond before conscious thought even kicked in. Today, the dangers are different. Cars, cliffs, crowded streets, but your brain still works the same way. It bends time to keep you alive. Now let's move from danger to childhood. Almost everyone says childhood felt infinite. Summers lasted forever. Years stretched out in all directions. This isn't nostalgia deceiving you. A child's brain is immersed in novelty. Every sound, every face, every rule, every texture is new. Novelty forces the brain to encode more information. More information means more memory. And when we look back, that period seems enormous. Adulthood is almost the opposite. Days blend together, routines repeat, faces blur. The brain encodes less, and suddenly decades seem to evaporate. Time didn't speed up. Your mind simply stopped paying as much attention, and that's why years vanish like mist. Consider another extreme, solitary confinement. People trapped in small, silent cells with almost no variation or stimulation describe the same chilling phenomenon. Days become impossible to count. Weeks dissolve. Some report that time seems to vanish entirely. For the brain, time only exists when there is change, when events leave a trace. Without novelty, without contrast, the very concept of now begins to erode. Change is the ruler of perception. No change, no time. Depression works in a disturbingly similar way. People who are depressed often describe each day as a heavy, thick, and unbearable. Studies show that their brains estimate time as moving slower. The clock outside hasn't changed, but the internal processing of the brain has. Every moment drags. The future feels unreachable, distant, threatening. Each second carries more weight, more pressure. That's why some people describe depression as living underwater, where even simple moments feel suffocatingly slow. And stress, danger, or extreme environments can wrap time in the opposite way. High altitude climbers, where oxygen is low and every breath is a struggle, report moments stretching into what feels like hours only to discover minutes have passed. Brain scans reveal that under extreme stress, the brain switches to a high-density recording mode. Every tiny detail is locked in near perfect clarity. The mind becomes hyper-alert, freezing time perceptually to preserve survival. Nothing must be missed. Every twitch of shadow, every micro vibration on our feet, every faint scent of danger is recorded. Time, for the conscious mind, ceases to be consistent, but the body survives. It's unsettling when you realize that you have no conscious control over this. You don't choose when a moment stretches or collapses. Your brain does this silently, automatically, influenced by novelty, threat, safety, and meaning. That's why some experiences imprint forever, burning in a memory, while entire years of life blur together as if they never happened. Time is not outside you, it's built inside you. And here's where it gets stranger. Our sense of time is directly tied to our physiology, heart rate, stress hormones, oxygen levels, attention, and even moment all fit into how the brain constructs time. Adrenaline floods the system. Neurons fire faster. The hippocampus captures a hyper-detailed map of the moment. That feeling of life slowing down in an accident, that's adrenaline, and neural density reshaping your inner clock. And conversely, boredom, repetitive routines, or depression can dull neurons, compress experience, and make months disappear like smoke. Even everyday life is affected. When you meet someone new, your brain devotes more attention, encodes more details, and the moment feels elongated. When walking a familiar path or watching the same TV show for the 100th time, attention fades, details shrink, and hours vanish. Your brain decides what is important and what can be forgotten. That's why your memory feels like it stretches in novelty and compresses in routine. Let's consider some real-life stories to illustrate this. A soldier in combat once described a moment where he froze just before stepping on a mine. He said time slowed down, the world elongated, and he could see every detail of his surroundings. Scans and studies suggest that in life-threatening danger, the brain enters a hyper-perceptual mode, capturing far more information than in normal life. The split second that saved him was packed with sensory richness. Time didn't stop. It was recorded in high resolution. Similarly, survivors of car accidents report that their surroundings appear in slow motion. The sound of tires screeching, the flicker of traffic lights, the expressions on people's faces, everything becomes magnified. Researchers tested this by dropping objects on subjects in controlled danger scenarios. Those who reported time slowing had faster neural firing and denser memory encoding. Their brain literally added more frames to the second. Now think of extreme novelty. Traveling to a new country, learning a new skill, or even having your first real love. These moments feel endless in retrospect. The brain is absorbing new patterns, encoding vast amounts of information. Memory expands. The same principle explains why childhood summers felt infinite and why first experiences are so vivid. Novelty stretches perceived time. Routine compresses it. Conversely, monotony, social isolation, and chronic stress can erase chunks of time. Prisoners in solitary confinement often cannot tell if a week or a month has passed. Hospital patients under minimal stimulation report similar effects. Their brains, starved of novelty, have less to encode. Days collapse. For the brain, nothing has changed, therefore nothing has happened. Time in perception ceases. Even your body's microphysiology affects time perception. Heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen flow, and stress hormones send constant signals to the brain about urgency, safety, and survival. Faster heartbeats and higher adrenaline can make a minute feel like 10. Slow, relaxed circulation can make an hour vanish. This interplay between body and mind shows that time is not a single stream, but a complex construct, woven from neural and physiological threads. There is even evidence that a brain can predict time in advance. Studies show that when people expect danger or reward, neurons fire in anticipation, creating the sensation that moments have stretched or shortened. Your mind isn't passively experiencing time. It actively models it, constructs it, and in a sense, shapes it to optimize perception and reaction. Think about it. Every second you think you're living in real time, your brain is shaping it, stretching some moments, compressing others, discarding irrelevant information, highlighting what matters. The walk to the store, the conversation with a friend, the argument over something trivial, it's all filtered, reconstructed, and replayed internally, like a high-end film editor deciding what makes the final cut. What you experience is not reality itself, it's reality interpreted. Even extraordinary phenomena like déjà vu, time distortion, honor psychedelics, or extreme stress reveal the same principle. The brain is not a clock. It's a story machine. It takes the raw flow of events and reconstructs them into a narrative that it can survive, remember, and navigate. That narrative can be stretched, compressed, and sometimes even lie to you, and you accept it as real. So what does this mean for your real life? It means that when time feels too fast or unbearably slow, it's not an illusion. It's your brain performing its most advanced survival function. It's ensuring that you notice what matters, survive what threatens you, and encode what will keep you alive. Time isn't something that passes outside you. Time is something your brain builds inside you, and it builds it according to novelty, danger, emotion, and survival. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care about a clock on a wall. It cares about you. When you pause and reflect on your life, you may realize that entire months, maybe years, have slipped by unnoticed. While a single dramatic moment could expand into what feels like a lifetime. That's because your brain was doing exactly what it was designed to do. Compressing routine, magnifying novelty, intensifying danger, and recurring survival. You don't notice you were alive, and that's the ultimate function of this hidden machine inside your head. So the next time time feels strange, too fast, too slow, or unreal, remember, it's not broken. You're not broken. Your brain is performing one of its most sophisticated, most essential tricks. It's bending reality to protect you, to teach you, to guide you, to let you survive in ways your conscious mind could never manage. Time as you feel it is a story, not a measurement. And right now, that story is alive inside you, bending, shaping, and expanding every moment you live. Your brain continues to manipulate every second of your life, even after moments have passed. But if you understand what's happening, not to control it, because you can't, but just to see how this amazing system works, you can notice it. Imagine a first-time skydiver jumping from a plane. The wind rushes, the ground approaches fast, and every heartbeat feels stronger. Time doesn't slow because the world changed. It feels slower because the brain records every fraction of a second in detail. Later, when the skydiver recalls the jump, those 30 seconds feel like a lifetime. The brain does this to protect the body, sharpen attention, and create stronger memories. Even in daily life, the same process happens when you walk down a crowded street. Your brain notices small changes, the tilt of someone's head, the sound of approaching footsteps, small movements in your peripheral vision. These signals are processed faster than you can consciously notice. When danger or opportunity appears, the brain stretches or compresses time to prepare a reaction. That brief pause before crossing the street or sudden attention to a sound is an example of this system. Even at home, before an important conversation or decision, your heart rate rises, palms sweat, and attention sharpens. Your brain lengthens those seconds so it can process more information. When you finally speak, it feels like the moment lasted longer, even though the clock shows only a little time passed. Memory can also be misleading. You might remember an argument lasting hours, a long drive, or a vacation that felt endless, while in reality the time was much shorter. The hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and amygdala work together to decide what is stored, what is highlighted, and what is ignored. Fearful or important moments are recorded as longer. Ordinary moments are compressed. You live in a world measured not by clocks, but by your brain's priorities. Hormones play a role too. Adrenaline and cortisol do more than increase your heartbeat or sharpen your senses. They change your sense of time. A spike of adrenaline can make a few seconds feel much longer. This system evolved for survival and works silently in the background. We don't feel it consciously, but every sudden moment of alertness or fast reaction depends on it. Pleasure, excitement, and new experiences also affect time. When you experience something new or thrilling, your brain records more details, making those moments feel longer. In contrast, repetitive or boring days seem to pass quickly because the brain records less. Loneliness or unchanging conditions can make time collapse. Without events, change, or stimulation, the brain can't measure time, and seconds feel the same. The brain also adjusts time based on expectations and imagination. When you're waiting for news or imagining a scenario, time feels longer because the brain prepares to process it. The important truth is, you can choose which moments deserve your attention. The brain stretches or compresses seconds, but you decide what to focus on and what to remember. When you fully concentrate on a moment, whether in conversation, learning, or daily life, seconds become meaningful, and your real experience forms. So the next time moments feel too long or too short, remember, this isn't a weakness. It's the brain performing its task, editing, recording, and reconstructing life. And ultimately, you have the choice. You decide what's important and which seconds matter. Your brain stretches some moments and compresses others. But the final choice is yours. You decide what matters and what deserves your attention. The value of each second is yours to choose. And here's the last thing, remember, if you want to explore more hidden truths about the brain, mind, and human experience, don't just watch. Stay with us. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join this journey. Every video will show you how your body and mind are far more incredible than you think. Don't miss a single second.